Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. I feel like I should start the video like this, hi, because I don't know how this keeps happening to me. I used to struggle. You can still see some leftover redness from a couple that I had over here in July. I had a couple pop up over here in late July, early August. They went away, and now another one, and I'm like, rah! And I don't think it's a change in skincare. I think it's more, I've been eating a lot of snacks. Yes. And I've also been really stressed. I think we're all really stressed right now, and it's starting to just show on my face. So I thought we'd do a get ready with me today. I'm going to use some products that I recently purchased. I've got some L'Oreal Age Perfect in here. I've got the Tiny Marvels palette from Sydney Grace. A couple of things that I picked up at the drugstore that I have been wanting to try that I've heard really good things about. And just some regular favorites. So it's not really a big deal. I hope you're doing well. I have been obviously stressed. Beyond that, I think a lot of it just comes down to, I'm bored. Are you struggling with the same thing? Because it's like me and my family and whoever we can Zoom with. Some people, I know a lot of friends who've decided to bubble together with other families or to, and we just haven't. And it's been one of those things where I kind of wish that maybe we had. School's about to start. I'm recording third week of August right now. Kids start school the last week of August, I think on the 30th or the 31st, whatever that Monday is. And the school that my kids go to are doing both in person as well as online. And my husband and I have opted for the kids to do online. I'm home. It's not like it's going to be me staying home and missing my job. I'm home anyway, and we're just wanting to keep everybody as safe as possible. But the prepping for school, it's not that big a deal, but it's still, you know, I'm worried that we're gonna miss some crucial stuff. And that school's gonna, you know, maybe not start with like perfectly without a hitch, but I don't know. Let me know if you have school age kids, how your kids are handling it, whether they're junior high, college age, high school, elementary, preschool, let me know. And then also let me know whether you're able to send your kids to school or whether you're doing distance learning. I keep wanting to call it virtual, but I think the official term is distance learning. This is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Concealer. I, of course, have a cat hair. Oh, this cat. Hair everywhere. I feel like you walk into a room and all the cat hair in the room that was on surface just goes into the air. So it's something I've been trying to constantly vacuuming, constantly dusting, but she has longish hair and it goes everywhere. So I'm going to start just with this. My goal today was not to do a really heavy like look with a ton of foundation. I like the look of my skin best when I do, you know, just minimal concealing in my trouble spots and I let my skin shine. Well, it shines anyway because it's August and it's hot outside. But for me, more in that, let my skin shine through. Maybe I should do that. So I look more like myself, but not too heavily made up. If there is a favorite concealer you have from the drugstore, I would love to know what it is. I have tried several. I used to really love the Maybelline Age Rewind. I wish they had a better shade range for my skin tone. But the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear is a little too dry for my under eyes. I'm trying to think of other ones that I've tried. I've tried the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I've tried a lot, but this is the first one that I've tried in the last 12 months. And I'm like, ooh, yeah, you. The other thing I wanted to do is, last time I wore this makeup, I just used a brush. This time I wanted to press it in with a sponge to see if it helped to make it look more skin-like. Because I felt like, I don't know if it was the foundation for the Age Perfect or if it was this concealer, but I felt like a little bit of it sat on top of my skin and looked a little bit more textured. That's probably the right word for it. Okay. Be gone! I also need a little bit here and on my hyperpigmentation spots. I have a few. That should do. I'm not trying to do like a full face. I just want to perfect a few areas. I do like that this concealer looks lightweight and dewy, It is not too heavy. I am anxious for the weather to start cooling off because it's been triple digits, like 106, 108. And it's good for my garden because my tomatoes are coming in, you know, red and delicious and fabulous, but the rest of me is dying. It's so hot. Fallen into the slip of complaining about a lot of stuff. And that's one of the things that I have a tendency to do. I have a very critical nature and nothing is ever perfect enough. And it's easy for me to focus on the negative things, but I find that in this, the current state that we find ourselves in, I need to be as positive as possible for my own sake, and also it has a really big impression on my kids. And I find that if I can, keep a happy appearance, it makes a big difference for them, which I totally get and I see why, but I need to try harder sometimes. My husband took the kids camping this last weekend, and they canceled a camping trip earlier in the summertime. They were supposed to go in late July, but things changed and they didn't end up going. I feel like I need just a slightly heavier concealer right here. I'm going to grab for something else that might have a little more stick to it. Just going to throw on this NARS Matte Creamy Concealer, just the smallest little bit of it, because this little guy here is literally cat hair everywhere. So my husband took the kids camping and they enjoyed it. They had been planning to go camping earlier this summer and had to cancel that. But they had a good time. And the plans that they had earlier this summer was to go to a place that was like 4 hours away here in the state of Washington. But my husband made last minute plans like on Wednesday. I'm gonna take the kids camping. It's like, great, have a good time. And so we couldn't find a camping spot that was like at the campground they were going to go to earlier this summer. So he took them to a place that's only an hour from here. It's a beautiful lake. And they had a really good time, but I got a call from my husband. He's like, Ava, my oldest, had been going off the rope swing into the lake and had gotten water in her ear and she was feeling really not good. He's like, do you think you can come and get her? Because Lily and I want to stay. And I was like, okay. So I went up. She'd been there for 24 hours. She's like, I'm so sorry. It's like, it's okay. I know what it's like when you're not feeling good. But I had to go and pick up my 12-year-old. And when we got home, the fix for swimmers here, either just using rubbing alcohol in the ear so it falls all the way down to the ear canal and then you shake it out. Yeah, she felt like, oh, this is much better. I'm like, I'm not driving you back up there. It's 10 o'clock at night. I think I'm going to just lightly set the areas of my face that I need to set, not the whole thing. So I'm going to set my under eyes. I love that this concealer hasn't settled and I don't have to tap it out before I set it. I can't tell you how much I love that. So I feel like this summer has been like forever long and also like it's flown by. I'm sure you feeling that too? I feel like everybody is talking about it's forever long and it's like, boom, it's gone. And I know that that's the same thing that happens, you grow up, your kids aren't tiny anymore and it feels like time is flying. And then, you're in the middle of a struggle, maybe doing something with the kids that is not your favorite thing to do and it feels like the hours crawl by. But I feel like I've been in that same loop of it's taking forever. It feels like it's been 1,000 years since March. And then there's moments where it's like, boom, like, really? It's only been like 3 weeks. I don't know. Time is a weird thing. And I feel like I just give myself a lot of leeway these days. A lot of leeway. So I really liked this Age Perfect blush when I tried it for the first time. I've used it several times since. But this is the shade Rosewood. I like it because it gives a soft, subtle, it's not too heavy, but it also has a satin finish to it. And I love the way it looks on my cheeks. I think it's really pretty. And I wore, the first day I tried it in my wear test, I didn't wear any highlight and I was so impressed with the subtle kind of glow that it imparted and it stayed all day. Like 8 hours later, it still looked just as glowy. I'm going to throw on a little highlight today. This is a really subtle highlight. This is the Natasha Denona Glow. It's not the super glow. It's the first highlight she came out with. And I like that it just gives just a little bit without being too much. And although I did say this is kind of like a glowy blush, I want just a little bit more. Not a ton, just a little more. I don't know why I always start with the brow that's easiest to fill in and I leave the one that's the most difficult for last. I do that every single time. I should start with my difficult brow first and then try and get my other one to match, but it's kind of like putting off the task you hate the most. So I'm just going to use some of the really soft neutrals. I don't want to do a really heavy eye today from this. I love these shadows so much. The weekend my family was gone, I didn't do anything. I sat in the living room in the big giant rocking chair with the rocking ottoman, and I crocheted for like 3 days straight. It was like Netflix and crochet. But I just started learning how to crochet. My grandmother taught me a little bit, the basics, from when I was a really young age, like 5. And she was really big into, you know, cross stitch, embroidery, knitting, sewing. So a lot of my love for doing things hands-on. She loved to garden, you know, was an excellent cook. She made her own clothes, made clothes for my mom and her siblings, and just, you know, really like crocheted all sorts of stuff. And so I remember growing up around my grandma, who was extremely, extremely good at all of these handmade goods. And I never really got the hang of it. I used to do a lot of embroidery and cross stitch as a kid, and I quilted by hand a lot, and I learned to sew, but I'd never really learned any yarn related crafts, and I feel really bad about it. And then my cousin, this summer, sent each of my girls a small kind of Afghan throw to, like if they're sitting on the couch watching a movie or reading a book, they can just kind of throw it over themselves. And she was like, you know, I had some time off of work and I was trying to keep my hands busy. And then I realized, you know what, keeping your hands busy, that's a great idea. So I picked up crocheting as a hope that if my hands were busy, I wouldn't be snacking. Because that's been one of the hardest things since March, is that I get bored, and I always snack when I'm bored. I'm trying not to gain back. I'm gaining some weight, but I lost a lot of weight over the last 2.5 years, over 100 pounds, and I'm really trying not to, you know, go crazy. And it's really hard when I don't really feel like we're getting out as much. So anyway, I thought maybe keeping my hands occupied would keep me from the late night snacking. So today I started out with this in the crease. I have this kind of in the outer corner, and I have this shade here and this shade here kind of combined very lightly over the rest of my lid, just to kind of give it a little bit of shine, but not too much. And that's, I'm going to call it quits, because I wanted a really light, almost not their eye look, but to give it a little bit of a polish. So one of the things I've been really curious about is this. It's from Revlon. It's their Colorstay Micro Hyper Precise Gel Eyeliner with Smudger. It says it's waterproof, smooth, precise application, and the 1.5 millimeter really reminded me, I don't know if I can find mine. I have one from Hourglass, and it's a 1.5 millimeter. This one is in kind of a navy blue called Ocean Floor, but I picked this one up in brown. Yeah, just 215 shade brown. And the reason I did is because one of my favorite YouTubers, Jessica Braun, talked for years about her love for the 1.5 millimeter from Hourglass, but it would go like really quickly. And then she found this at the drugstore, and she said she just quit buying the other one. And I was like, really? That's a lot. So I wanted to try this. And I know that it's very tiny, and I usually will take a really tiny brush. I'll usually take a little teeny tiny guy like this and dip it in powder shadow and smudge it into my lashes. But if this is really small, my goal is really not to take up any more of my lid space with liner, because I don't have a lot of lid space, but I do like the definition at the lash line and the look that liner can get to make it look like your lashes are darker at the base. But I'm not going to go past the corner of my eye. I'm going to keep it really natural today. Part of me wonders if I dare put it in my waterline. I've tried 2 different eyeliners recently that I put in my waterline and didn't work. I don't know, I almost feel like that's the test of, is it really going to work for me? Most of the time I only wear liner in my waterline. Let's see what happens. Glides really easily. So the last couple things I picked up recently at the drugstore, one was this. It's from Lipstick Queen. It's one of their lip liners. This is their medieval lip liner. You know how I'm always talking about Lipstick Queen's Medieval as my favorite lipstick ever. Love so much. When I saw they had a medieval lip liner, fantastic. And I got this at Walmart for $9.97. So this is what it looks like. It's a retractable liner. I wonder if, ooh, look, it has a little sharpener. Oh, I love it when lip liners have that. It's not that hard to do, and pencil like eyeliners too. It's a little pinker than I expected. So that's the medieval lipstick over it. I think it would work really well together, but I am going to line my lips with this, and I got a different lip gloss. I got one of the new Maybelline Lifter glosses. So I'm going to line first, and we'll put the other thing on. So this, by the way, is the shade 006 Reef, and I heard these are a really good, ooh, it smells very kind of cake battery, that these are a good dupe of the Fenty gloss bombs. It's not okay, I keep trying to, and the lid keeps popping out. Must be an air pocket or something, but it's like a hydraulic, feels like a hydraulic gloss. Like it's like, I'm coming back. I feel like this is a pretty kind of coral. It looks like a little more rosy, almost peachy pink leaning. And the liner is definitely more pinky red, but together it makes a really pretty, I'm still struggling, coral kind of looking lip. This is one of those where I'll have to let you know, my biggest pet peeve with lip glosses are that they collect in the corner and then they string every time you talk and open your mouth. I hate that. I like that this is really lightweight feeling. It doesn't feel sticky. I like this. I think it all comes down to how does it wear. I do already have a little bit of subtle color shifting from my top waterline to my lower waterline. So I'm just going to carefully clean that up. It's only been like 6 minutes, but it's probably not meant for the waterline. It does great above the lash line. We'll have to see how it goes, but it went on really easy, and I like how tiny it is. It's the teeny tiniest. It's so small I can't even find it now. Hello. One of the smallest pencils that I have for my eyes, and I love tiny pencils like this. They allow me to feel like I can wear a liner like everybody else above my lash line. I'm not totally in love with this lip color I concocted here. I think I'm going to try just the gloss on its own. I really want to love this, and I hope it ends up working out for me, and it could be I need a different liner with it. This more pinky red liner, it's nice, but I don't know that it was a good combo with this. And this could be also because it has kind of a slightly milky appearance. Where is my Fenty Gloss Balm? It's right here. This one is more sheer. I feel like more sheer, and it has a subtle sparkle to it that the other one doesn't. So if you're curious, this is the Fenty Fussy, and this is the one Reef from Maybelline. They're both really super shiny, but I feel like this one being more pigmented, the other one being a little bit more sheer. I feel like, I don't know, and maybe it's the tone that I picked up because I like the way it looks here, and I was like, yeah, I think I'd really like that. And then seeing it here, it hasn't knocked my socks off. And that's usually what I expect when I put a lipstick on for the first time. But I'll have to let you know how it wears. I do feel like this is going to work fine, but it's probably not a shade I would repurchase, being this kind of pinky red. But, you know, we'll keep going through. Thanks for watching. I don't know, I feel like I was it's been like more than a week, maybe 10 days since I filmed last, and I feel like I'm kind of out of my comfort zone. I've recorded so many videos I was able to take some time off, and now it's just been kind of like, and I got to get back into the swing of things. But I feel like this is a really good look for me, and I feel like I really like the eye. The really subtle, soft, beautiful of the eye, and I still feel like I want to walk around like this. I'll just put a mask on, you won't see it at all. So let me know if there are any drugstore products that you use regularly that you particularly love. Have you had the opportunity to run into the Lipstick Queen stuff at Walmart? Have you tried it? What's your favorite drugstore eyeliner or concealer? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching today. Stay cool in this still really warm weather that we're having, and I will see you again soon. Bye.